Something to kind of point out here, if you try and diagnose some issue like this with just a scan tool, how would you capture that? It happened now twice just standing here, and I saw absolutely no misfire on cylinder 4, and we didn't see any cylinder change in RPM speeds. So there's no information here telling you that something had happened. Other than audibly, we can hear the RPM change. You couldn't do it unless you have a lab scope. It's the only way. Okay, we got ourselves a 2009 Toyota Rav-4 with the V6, and trouble is PO 354. We got ignition coil primary secondary circuit code. However, personally at the moment I don't feel any misfires. I'm not for sure certain if it does create a misfire, well, as far as the actual feel. But what I did is looked up service info, found these are cylinders 2, 4, and 6 here in the front. Means it's coil D, that means A, B, C, D, cylinder 4. So that's why I got back probed here, and what I grabbed is the trigger for cylinder 4 as far as ignition coil to be triggered, and the red is the feedback from all 6 ignition coils showing that the coil had triggered. The PCM knows it. So as I'm scoping it, so I got it here, and the one thing I took note of is the amplitude as far as it being pulled down. You can notice this one here is not quite there. With the cursors on there, you can see the actual difference. So you can see the pull down is actually, whoops, go back here one more time. On cursor 1, which is this one here, the ground will pull all the way down to 0.72 for volts. Cursor 2 will only pull down to basically 1 volt. So you got about a quarter of a volt difference there. With the cursors off of there, let's hide those, put them back, and you can see an amplitude difference. That and just the look of it's kind of different. Let me scroll back a little bit so you can see more. There, and you see the difference? Here, here, here. Yeah, now let me turn on the channel, and this would be cylinder 4. Look which ones are low. Yeah, the one for cylinder 4. So now, I think that's our problem is the feedback from this ignition coil is not quite pulling down the way that it would want. Let's run this live and put in that other trace on it. In fact, let's put a trigger on that so it locks it there. If I can separate this down just a little bit lower here, and you can see that that still doesn't pull all the way down. Now I don't know if that's the actual complaint or if that feedback happens to drop out and it's not active at the moment. I plan to keep an eye on it and see what would happen. A lot of times what I found with these things, they may need to get hot before it will actually cause that problem. So, but I thought I'd capture this. It's kind of interesting just to kind of see how that voltage difference between them is enough right there to see that there's an issue. So, anyways, thought I'd capture that. We'll dig a little further with it, see what happens. While I was standing here adjusting a few things, I noticed the RPM on this thing kind of fluctuated, came back, stopped the scope, and there we go. The red, the confirmation of cylinder 4 actually firing, had dropped out. It thinks that it didn't happen. Now with these Toyotas, what will happen is when the PCM sees that, it'll shut off that injector. There, it just did it again. Interesting that the scan data didn't really show any difference. Odd. But there's the issue. And let's see, because it came back on. No, actually it was still dropping out for quite a while. Nope, there it came back on. So there's at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'll have to scope out a little further, but there'll be the problem. We need another ignition coil in on number 4. So there you go. That's all I got. Well, we're back at it this morning just to see if we can capture it. You can see how, oh, you see that jump? Now it kind of fixed itself. Wait for that thing to shrink back up. That was interesting. It almost gave out. Now it's going to behave because I put it on camera. Anyways, back on it. I'm really interested to see if the intentional shutdown on the injector does go away when we lose that red feedback. So, hope to capture it. If not, I can't spend all day on it, so I already know it needs a new ignition coil. But just out of pure curiosity, I was just kind of interested to see if that fuel injector would drop out. Or intentionally be turned off, I should say. Oh, look at that. It's right there. It's about to drop out. At least I hope. That's what I've been waiting for. Come on. I think it's camera shy. Yeah. Well, I was hoping to capture it on video as well. If I could, that'd be great. Yeah. As the lower RPMs is spreading my time base out, so eventually I'm going to have to, I can move the cursor over just a little bit more. There we go. Or not a cursor, but the trigger. Of course, I'm more important to see that drop out than worried about the injector. Once I see that drops out, then I can stop and look at it. Well, I'll just keep on waiting. When it drops out, I'll turn the camera back on. She's going short, but it's still there. Yeah, you can still see it's still there, but yeah. I mean, it hasn't fully dropped out yet. And this is the reason why that code would pop, but it may not show an actual misfire, because it just knows that there is a feedback problem. Yeah, and I put the red on a 5-volt scale, so it's utilizing every bit of the scope. I just want to see it. Oh, did you hear that? Alright, let's just stop and take a look at that. See what we have. Yeah, let's just go in right about here somewhere. You can hear it still doing it. Where did it drop out? Is it there? Nope. It's doing it again. Let me save this file. Capture it while it's doing it. See, that usually happens to me when I'm trying to save something. Do it again, I dare you. And what I'll do is I'll go back to increasing the time base so I can see both. There we go. And really I can change this back to a 10 volt. Bring my scale back up here. Whoop. Whoop, right there it is. Well, did it go away completely? I don't know. So I'd have to stop it and review it. Dang it. Yeah. No, it's just short. Let me just record it. Let's keep recording. Oh look, it kind of about went away and I still saw that the injector was still going. There it is. Nope, injector went away. Perfect. That's what I wanted to capture. So there you go. It does intentionally shut that injector off. Nice. Well, I got that capture. That's what I was after. So this is awesome. Yeah, and you can see it right here. There it is. See? The yellow went away. Beautiful. Alright, there you go. That's all I wanted. Time for a new coil.